97% of the climate scientists around the world agree that human activities have warmed our planet more than 1 degree Celsius since the Industrial Revolution. The three main causes attributed to the rise in the Earth's temperature include burning fossil fuels, factory farming, and deforestation. This has added excessive amounts of greenhouse gases to those naturally occurring in the atmosphere. These gases that would otherwise escape into space trap heat, which is causing the overall warming of our planet. Regions that traditionally experience certain types of weather are now subject to extreme, unusual weather patterns. Examples include drier than normal conditions where rainfall is expected, or flooding where moderate precipitation occurs. What exactly are greenhouse gases? Some gases in the Earth's atmosphere act like the glass in a greenhouse. They trap the sun's heat and stop it from escaping back into space. Although many of the gases occur naturally, human activity has increased the concentration of some of them. These include carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, fluorinated gases. CO2 is the most commonly produced greenhouse gas by humans and makes up for 64% of man-made global warming. Since the Industrial Revolution began in 1760, the amount of CO2 has increased by 40%. Other greenhouse gases are emitted in smaller quantities, but they trap heat far more effectively than CO2, and in some cases are thousands of times stronger. Methane is responsible for 17% of man-made global warming. Nitrous oxide accounts for 6%. When the sunlight reaches our atmosphere, nearly 30% of it is reflected back out into space. 23.2% is absorbed, leaving almost 55% to reach our surface. The buildup of greenhouse gases is preventing this surface heat from escaping, so nearly 86% of it radiates back to the surface. Causes for rising emissions. Burning coal, oil, and gas produces carbon dioxide and nitrous oxide. Deforestation. Trees help to regulate the climate by absorbing CO2 from the atmosphere. When they are cut down, that beneficial effect is lost, and the carbon stored in the trees is released into the atmosphere, adding to the greenhouse effect. Increased livestock farming. Cows and sheep produce large amounts of methane when they digest their food. Fertilizers containing nitrogen produce nitrous oxide emissions. Fluorinated gases produce a very strong warming effect up to 23,000 times greater than CO2. Thankfully, these are released in smaller quantities and are being phased down by EU regulation. The current average global temperature is 0.85 degrees centigrade higher than it was in the late 19th century. Each of the past 3 decades has been warmer than any preceding decade since records began in 1850. An increase of 2 degrees centigrade is seen by scientists as the threshold beyond which there is a much higher risk that dangerous and possibly catastrophic changes in the global environment will occur. For this reason, the international community has recognized the need to keep warming below 2 degrees Celsius. The atmosphere is getting hotter. The oceans are getting much hotter and much more acidic. Glaciers are melting. Ice sheets are thinning, and the Arctic Sea is disappearing. Permafrost is thawing. In North America, snowpack is decreasing. The number of cold days and nights are decreasing, while the number of hot days and nights are increasing. Heat waves will occur more often and last longer. Heavy rainstorms and snowstorms will become more intense and frequent. Overall, precipitation will rise in high latitudes and in the equatorial Pacific. In mid-latitudes, dry areas will get drier. Wet areas will get wetter. Species are vanishing at an alarming and ever-increasing rate. Most plants, small mammals, and ocean organisms cannot adapt fast enough to keep up with the changes. A global temperature rise greater than 2 degrees Celsius will compromise food supplies globally. Human health problems will get worse. Risks to poorer people are greater than for others in all countries.